What's up? I'm Calypso Haze of BrownSugar Voodoo and the Melanade stand, and you are plugged into NishoSoul, the Surge. Stay plugged in.
All I hear is, Anisha, yeah, do you watch Love Jones? I'm like, yeah, but where you going with this? Like, just like kind of hit just like that. I'm like, oh, Jesus, what? Good people of the NishoSoul family, we have returned. Well, it ain't we this time, it's me. First time doing the Surge solo without NishoSoul here, but it's all good. The return of the Surge for 2020. Continuing the series where we started off in the beginning of the year, pre-quarantine. But we are back. I'm NishoSoul, one half of the name, 1/3 of the team, and I have with me, as you already heard, we have one half of Melanade Stan, one half of a brand that I really, really bang with. Multifaceted individual, BrownSugar Voodoo, Calypso Haze. Calypso, how are you?
I'm pretty good considering the circumstances.
Quarantine. What is it? It is all good. I understand. I appreciate you taking the time to be here with me.
Happy to be here.
Definitely. So, for those who do not know who you are, what you do, with the many things that you do, we'll definitely get into all that and more. But definitely let the people know who you are, what you do. Get them plugged in for the Surge one time.
So I am Calypso Haze. I own BrownSugar Voodoo, which is an apothecary, and I co-own the Melanade stand with my good sis Jazz. And we are a small business incubator for Black-owned businesses. We started with the DMV, and we're kind of moving outwards since everything is currently virtual.
One sentence summary. That is all you need to know. That is the end of the Surge. You can find us. All right. No. I haven't made the joke all year. I had to. I'm like, the separation is crazy. But yes, that's actually a good segue into the first question I had. Like Melanade Sting, you mentioned Jazz. Shout out to Jazz if you watch, by the way. Gang. And shout out to my beloved team of the NishoSoul podcast. So, but yeah, that team aspect, Jazz. Like, how did you two start Melanade Sting? How did y'all know that it was going to be a route for supporting Black-owned businesses, and just want to expand on that? Like, so just give the intro story, if you will.
You know what's funny is even before creating the Melanade stand or its predecessor, me and Jazz randomly met at an event that her friend was doing, and I just happened to be a part of at Femme Fatale. We just happened to meet. We talked for a second. And I, later on down the line, I didn't know that this would become someone that I'm now so very close to. And later on, she reached out to me because she had another venture that was going on called Tribe. And we kind of talked for a second. I was like, yeah, I'm down to be there. I'm down to come out. I'm down to be a part. That turned into a thing. As time went on, things changed, people changed. And it went from 3 of us to 2 of us. And me and Jazz have, first of all, very similar, very hectic lives. Like, I'm a mom, but she just graduated with her master's. So,
hey, post-quarantine master's gang.
But, that means neither of us really had all the time in the world. But it worked out for both of us because we often had the same time available, along with being able to hand off tasks. And it kind of just blossomed into something much bigger than we thought it was going to be a year later. Matter of fact, we were hosting Stephen Lamont's event where we met you. And
did somebody mention the event where we met? What? Oh my goodness.
Right? I'm just saying, no one, I never would have guessed that now, a year and a half down the line, here we are having this conversation. Hold on, Natalie, go in there. Sorry, that is my mini. Again, I told y'all I'm a mom. I don't know. Answer it. So, yeah. She's such a sweetheart. She's a big part of Melanade stand, too, like, to be honest with you.
Shout out to all the moving parts of Melanade stand.
Listen, she'd be riding with us till literally, like, there is no gas in the tank left. And that's kind of one of our driving forces, is that we never want a small business to feel like there is no gas in the tank left. If you can't do it, it's cool. We got you. Like, we're going to set up shop for you. We're going to do this for you. So it's interesting. Our partnership was very much so, I like to, say, like, very much so predestined by the ancestors. Like, I couldn't do this with anyone else than Jazz.
Like, because I met y'all at Tribe and now you're on Melanade stand, and that evolution was just incredible to see. Certain.
Yo,
Good,
that night was a lot going
so many valid
on.
Points. Like,
yeah, you know,
that night.
Honestly, had y'all gotten to that event when we first got there to set it up, like literally, I got there maybe like 45 minutes after Jazz got there, but she had like laid out this perfect groundwork to get this whole thing moving, because like that was an event that literally we had to pull the pieces together very quickly and not make it look like we were scrambling. So, you know, I will forever be grateful for Jazz, because when I'm losing my head, she's not. When she's losing her head, I'm not. It's a balance.
I wanted to touch on something you actually covered earlier in regards to like supporting local businesses. Like, on your own and before Melanade Stand, how would you say like you personally really managed to support local businesses? Like, I'm trying to figure out a better way to ask this, but like what drove Melanade Stand to want to support local businesses specifically?
You know, it's kind of we grew up here. Like, we've seen where DC has been. We've seen where the DMV in itself has been. We've seen where it's gone from, you know, every street was playing go-go, and you was out here, it was called Chocolate City, to this overcrowded area and people being pushed out of family homes. When what made DC were those small local owned businesses. It was where you could go down the street and talk to somebody and you're like, okay, I know that you own the hardware store, but you also knew all about his grandkids. You knew that his son was taking over the business. You knew that he would forever be there. And it's gone from that aspect to, we got to crowdfund just to make sure that you could stay in the building you've been in for 35 years.
Talk that talk.
And, you know, watching things like that happen, especially in such a small area, like people always like, oh, well, the DMV is huge. No, the DMV is small. It's small. Like, I run into
when I met y'all, like, literally.
Right. Like, but when I say it's small, it's like a radius is small. But there's so many people now packed into a place, but all of those people aren't running to those mom and pops. They're not running to those small local owned businesses. They're running to buy the business out of that space.
Let me tell you.
And it became a point where, you know, you walking down the street and you're like, what is Noma? What is Noma? And when you become a stranger in your own city, that's when you need to bring back those people that built that city.
Right.
You know, you have to bring back that small aspect, because DC is a city, but it's still a very small town. Like, it's not big. It's not big at all. You feel like 6 of them in other states.
That is,
you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and just the city is small, and then to that, a lot of the, I'm trying to not say networks in the city, a lot of the people that are artistically inclined, a lot of the creators in the city, like, you'd be surprised who knows who from a show you've been to, from the person you talk to, from the bartender that knows you perform. Like, just the inner workings of the connections in the city are just incredible. Like, even at when I first met y'all with Tribe and Steven, like, I don't know if y'all saw, there was really amazing videographer, photographer, shout out to Josephine Concert Consume. She was there. She shot a couple videos of the show. Like, it was incredible. And, you know, fast forward, like, we really had Steven on our first season. We had Joe just this past season. I'm like, it's small, but it's advantageous. So.
It's interesting. It's interesting. And then, you know, you run into people. Honestly, I've run into people that I went to high school with that I'm like, yo, that's you that's been taking these photos. Like, yo, that's you who's been doing this. Yo, you know, it's crazy. With the evolution of, like, even with the evolution of, like, the DMV, the evolution of the people within the DMV,
right,
is something that really makes you want to support those people. You know,
it always ends up coming back to support. You know, and I wanted to segue into the current brand you're rocking on the shirt. You know what I mean?
Hey, shout out to Ray and them.
All good people of the ounce. Pre-quarantine, pretty much our location for the majority of season 3, but also where we really got to see Melanade Stand work and shine and like cultivate what they do as a collective, and that was just dope to see y'all interact for real. But apparently y'all met Ray through me. I'm trying to remember the story back.
So
elaborate that.
What was crazy was Ray did an event with us, and it's an event, so we're running it. So really, we had the chance to like talk to Ray about what he did and kind of get to know him a little bit. But it wasn't anything as big as if you wouldn't have been able to tell me that night that we would have ended up in partnership with Ray. And right, we left and we were like, oh, he's so dope, he's so cool. I had got gummies. I was like, oh my gosh, that's great. I hope to see him again. And I think at our next event, he had just shown up, but he showed up and he said, I want to talk to you guys about, a partnership. And we were like, what? We were like, there's no way that this man because by that time we knew he had a space. We were just like, there's no way. There's no way something like this.
That was a little bit after he got into the space he was at currently moving. Yeah. I'll elaborate.
Yeah. He was talking to us and he's like, oh, I checked out y'all page. I checked out y'all personal pages. Funny story. He missed the entire Twerkspirations on my page. He was like, how did I miss that? And I was like, I don't know how you did. It happens almost every day. He was like, I didn't catch that. And it was like randomly that it got brought up. And he was like, how did I miss that? Because he was like, I checked you guys out and you guys seem pretty cool. And we were talking and he was like, but really, what really solidified it was we talked to Nisho of Cold and Soul. And we were like, yo, Nisho. And of course, we're like, we love Nisho. What are you talking about? Of course. So at first he didn't tell us anything that you said. We were just like, yo, we love Nisho. We're just going off of the fact that, like, we appreciate you. You could have said we do horrible business. We'd have been like, we still love Nisho.
No.
And he was like, yeah, he spoke very highly of you. And we were like, what? So, of course, now, like, hearts are bursting. And we're just like, God, we love Nisho. So, we sat down with him. He was telling us about how he wanted to, like, bring more events to the space. And he wanted to do more things within the space. And we were like, yo, so we went and we checked out space and we talked to him. We sat down, we ironed out this meeting. And mind you, this was like one late night. I ended up picking up New Vegan because I was like, me and Jazz aren't getting home until the wee hours of the morning, probably like usual, which normally meant we were picking up food. Because the days run long.
Big facts.
And we were sitting there, we were talking, and we started talking about how we had very like similar visions of bringing more people back to the smaller side of DC, the small businesses,
right, the more
local businesses, the mom and pops, and we kind of ironed it out from there, and it was honestly one of the biggest things to happen for Melanade. It was one of the biggest things to happen for Melanade because, at that time we were kind of trying to navigate how we were going to keep doing, monthly pop-ups and do more things outside of that to bring more awareness. And since a lot of our brand ideas kind of on the wellness side had meshed well together, should I say. Like,
right.
Us wanting to do like more mental and emotional wellness for, people who own businesses. That's a lot of work. Right. People think, oh, well, you do this here or there. Like, no, sometimes packing a box is like the hardest thing ever. Just trying to jigsaw the things into the box or, just trying to say the right things or do the right things. So, we want to bring more like emotional and mental awareness and, he does the CBD brands. So we were like, yo, this is a match made in heaven. That's actually where I coined the phrase, Love Jones Lighting.
Another fun fact for the people at home. Because I was there during this infamous incident. This actually is a dope transition in talking about, your solo efforts. But quick thing on the Love Jones Lighting. So it was an event with the Ounce. I believe it was officially marking Melanade Stand's partnership with the Ounce. And I'm pretty sure I was there. I don't know if Nick showed up a little bit later. It was like a couple of us in the same space, but we were all there. We were still setting up a couple of things. and the lighting through one specific window hit at the right angle, and Calypso was just fascinated, and all I hear is, and Nisha, yeah, do you watch Love Jones? I'm like, yeah, but where you going with this? Like, just like kind of hit just like that. I'm like, oh Jesus, all right.
I was like, this is that Love Jones lighting. It makes you feel like someone out there is writing poetry about you. And I don't mean just like, you look so nice walking down the street. It was like, no, like your soul runs deep like the river Nile. And your skin is so smooth like granite and marble. Like, that's what you thinking when the Love Jones lighting hits. And I remember I'm sitting there and I'm looking around this room, and there's so many beautiful black faces. I'm gonna say it. There's so many beautiful black faces in this room.
Shout out to the beautiful black faces.
Yo, and Jazz is like sewing a patch that she made onto
Jazz
a
is
hat.
The goat off of that. She's the goat.
Yo, and I mean, with a needle and thread, she is sitting there sewing this patch she made. She cut out from upcycled jeans and painted, and then set it up. She's stitching it on there because we were getting the box together for the next for that next month's box. And she's sewing it there, and I'm just looking around the room, and I'm like, yo, like, this is beautiful. Like, that fellowship between artists is a real beautiful thing. And sitting in the ounce, getting to do that was amazing. You don't get to do that in a lot of places. I can count on one hand the amount of black spaces in DC that I forever feel comfortable going into and not feeling like that space will be, how can I say, like interrupted or shook up because you no longer feel like you belong there. You know, this, it's a lot. It's a lot that's changed. To be able to sit there and do that and just look around the room and see other artists that look like you, that are looking for spaces like that, is a beautiful thing.
Now, I really want to know, like, who's BrownSugar Voodoo? Like, you run an Apothecary. That is pretty much the basis. I'm well aware. But, like, how did BrownSugar Voodoo really cultivate on its own? And given the quarantine now, like, how did it cultivate on its own, and how are you able to adapt during this crazy time?
You know, it's interesting. I started getting into spiritual work when I was like 16, and I was like, oh, like, I want to learn. Like, it was something that I felt like my soul was calling for. I was like, I want to learn how to read tarot. I want to do all of this. I want to, I want to learn what these herbs do. So I got really big into like what herbs do for like spiritual, mental, emotional healing, stuff like that. I got into different like little herbal classes. I was always big into science. So by the time I left for school, I went to school for baking and pastry. Like,
really,
not what I'm doing now. Yeah, I went to school to become a pastry chef. So I throws down in the kitchen. I could make a mean cake. Supposed to be helping my friend with her wedding cake soon. So it's like, I went to school for that. What? Hey. So it was interesting. I started, like reading, like, my shout out to my two best friends from college, Jessica, who is now a personal chef, and my best friend Brooklyn, who is teaching me yoga. And I got into it, and I was like reading their cards, and every now and then I'd be like, oh, like, I know the perfect way to, like, let's smudge out this apartment, let's do that. And one day they sat me down and it was like, yo, we are going to whoop your ass. Ooh, I'm like, can I curse?
I snuck a few in. I'm just saying, look, you're fine.
So like,
you don't like 20 minutes in. I don't know if I can fucking curse.
As soon as I said it, I was like, ooh. But yeah, they were like, you don't start doing this for real, like, you're crazy. And I was just like, who in my mind, I was just like, who wants to like get tinctures from me? Who wants to get one from me? Like, I was like 18, 19. And then I moved out and I started working on different shampoos. And it's interesting because everyone who like pushed me to start my business, I'm still very close to. My friend Travis was like, I helped him grow freeform locks, because I used to have freeform locks. I used to have freeform locks. That's where this came from.
What?
So
Okay,
yes,
something
like
completely
a
new.
head full, like, oh my God, I had them like so that
That-
they were 2 pigtails in the front and then just a bunch in the back.
Oh, you was fancy, all right.
That was fancy. And I helped him. We started his freeform locks, and I would make him shampoo and like oil for his hair.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, he was doing a lot of photography work. So he was like kind of consistently on the road, kind of consistently mad. It was like a lot going on. And he would always be like, I need more soap. I need more oil. Like, and I'd be like, yo, I'm trying out this new thing. Can you try this out? And he will never say no. So it's like, yeah. So shout out to him, because if it weren't for all of these people, I probably never would have taken it as seriously as I do now. And then after I started taking it more seriously, I started gearing like my Instagram more towards that part of my life. And as I started gearing that Instagram more towards part of my life, like people started reaching out to me, oh, what can I do for this? How can I do this? How much do you charge for this? And I was like, what? Charge? Okay. And then it turned out, okay, now you really have to get into the math side of it to figure out, you know, how much are these things going to cost? Start costing it out just like you would a recipe. So, you know, what I went to school for came in handy.
That timing though.
Right. I started costing things out, and I started really sitting down and going over some of the things that I had taken all of this time to learn. So by the time I was like 22, 23, I had my daughter, and I done some stay-at-home momming like I am now. I had started working back at Baked and Wire because I worked there throughout my entire pregnancy. And they were like, you know, they had put me in the office so I could see how office stuff worked. They had put me in the kitchen. I had been everywhere at this point. I came back and my boss was like, you know, you should do what you like to do more often. And I was like, all right, cool. Did an art show. And then I was just like, you know what? I like how this feels. I like how this soothes my soul. And next thing I knew, I was like, I need 48 glass bottles in this size, and I need 77 droppers in this size. And it kind of just took off. And like, low key, shout out to them, because they also gave us a space to showcase not only what I do, not only what Jazz does, not only what we do together, but what other small businesses in DC do. So as BrownSugar took off, BrownSugar Voodoo took off, and even as it's adapting now to being more of a virtual situation, where now you'll see me doing more videos, you'll see me going live, you'll see me doing all these things that before I didn't necessarily like have to do. And I was like, I don't want to do this. I like, anyone who knows me knows I ramble. So I'll be like, I want to go on live, I'm gonna just ramble through this live. Now that I have to do that, it's interesting. The change is interesting. The adapting to a market where I cannot reach out and touch someone is interesting. Because you can't smell nothing. You can't feel nothing. You can't, you know, you gotta take my words. I have to be as descriptive as possible without sounding crazy. It's interesting. But it's actually been a really fun ride, honestly.
I dig. So I had one more question, just to keep it on the fun side of things. Like, I mean, while obviously looking at the realism of what quarantine pretty much put a lot of people in this position to do, it's like it got a lot of small businesses adapting and a lot of people in a different position to like move different. But everybody's also talking about post-quarantine and, you know, all the crazy plans they got after the fact. So I wanted to ask BrownSugar, Voodoo, Calypso Haze, Force Brew Hot I wanted to ask the many surnames. You've
met me.
Yes. Yes. I wanted to ask your top 3 post-quarantine travelers.
My top 3?
Yes.
So currently, me and my two college best friends that kicked my behind in the start in this, we have been saving up into a group account, into a joint account, and we're going on a staycation. We've been working out. I have bought my first waist trainer. I'm laying on somebody's beach once it is safe. Okay?
There you go. Once it is safe.
Once Right? Once it is safe, I'm third wave leave my house, okay? So I'll see y'all in August. I'm laying on somebody's beach.
I see y'all.
Okay.
Big fat, big energy. I hear you.
With so much alcohol, because I also just did a detox and have not had a drink in a very long time. I'm proud of myself because Nisho's met me and knows I'll drink somebody under a table if I have to. It's fine. Natalie, please stop with that.
The irony. Shout out to moderation. Shout out to moderation.
Yeah, moderation. Moderation is key. I don't want to be a bad influence to anybody. I'm just saying.
As do I. Note that the Cold Soul podcast encourages everyone to drink responsibly.
Know your limit.
And if our fans and our Cold Soul family really know, drink responsibly with Canada Dry. Wink, wink. You already know.
Listen, I'm telling y'all. Also, know your limits. So, my first is that girls trip. My mom's taking me down to Atlanta because she has a whole thing going on with her, with what she does spiritually. So I'm going down to a festival for that. And honestly, the third trip that I'm looking forward to is putting that one on a school bus. I love her to death. A school bus, baby. I love her so much. She is my pride, my joy. She is my helper. Sometimes she, helps me put labels on products. Boy. She has, like I said, she rides with us till there's no gas in the tank. She's done it all okay. However, when it is time for school to start, there will be no love lost with that school bus.
Ain't no homeschool.
Yo, these 9:15 Zoom calls. No.
This ain't
and then I gotta do classwork with you. I can't do it. I love her.
Nope.
And I've always, Natalie, we know. See, and y'all hear her. I love her to death. Again, she's my favorite human on the planet. School bus. Yes, you can make me a mask.
I heard mask, and we mentioned jazz multiple times throughout the duration of the surge. I want to shout out my Dome Peace family, Jazz, for the lovely mask, which I've been rocking to certain occasions, not all occasions. But I just want to shout out the other half of Melanade Stand Jazz for the dope mask. You can, I know you'll probably get the details of that. I just want to personally shout out for the mask I've been rocking because it's been crucial. Let me tell you.
Listen, she done made my mom one, me one. She even made a small one for Nat that's tied up. Okay? Oh. She got my whole family masked up. Okay? and she's not even selling them. You just gotta pay for shipping. If you get a Dome Piece order, if you order something from Dome Piece, it comes free. Or you could just pay shipping and boom, mask at your door.
Pay shipping for your own handcrafted Dome Piece mask. This is comfortable. Whew, Lord Jesus. Yes.
Yo. So
comfortable.
I've been rocking that.
Indeed, we rock. This is interesting doing this in a post-quarantine, in a pre-quarantine, in a mid-quarantine or so.
Yes.
In a mid-quarantine. Just like, because if it was like you, me, and Nick, and everybody in the whole team, it would have just been like, even crazy. Shout out to physical distancing, but it's all good. It's for the matter of safety.
Natalie, you got to stop yelling.
But it's all good. It's all good. We can definitely wrap up. But Calypso, first, just thank you for being able to just take your time out to just chop it up with me, of course. For the good people of the Cold Soul podcast.
What?
Definitely.
Always gonna hang out with Nisho.
What? And squad.
Dang.
Yes, but for the lovely people at home.
Quick question.
Yes.
Nisho, what year were you born?
91.
Hey, so was I. You're the year of the goat.
As we should be. As we should be.
Sorry, I had to say that.
The horns officially showing this podcast once more. We lit.
Sorry, I had to say that.
It's always a subtle Aries gang reference. Anyway.
Say, you're the goat.
I'm just saying, first in the zodiac period, you're the goat. Might be coincidence. I'm just saying, might not be coincidence, but that beautiful detail side. Well, Calypso, I mean, it's pretty evident. You're all over supporting Black business. Let the people know where they can find BrownSugar Voodoo, everything you got coming up. Melanade stand, everything I got coming up, please plug in.
So you can find me, Brown Sugar Voodoo, on Instagram at Brown Sugar Voodoo. You can also find me on Twitter, but that is a lot less tame. You can find Melanade at the Melanade stand on Instagram. Of course, you can find Jazz at Dome Piece. Same.
Get your Dome Piece ass.
Right. Every Friday, we feature 2 small businesses on the Melanade stand on live, and we talk to them about what they're doing, how you can support them, how you can donate, how you can do, your part in keeping small businesses alive. Yeah, that's really what we got coming up. For all of the women out there, I am finally starting these twerkspiration classes. So you can sign up via my DM. Ladies only. Sorry, gentlemen, trying to create a safe space.
Shop the safe spaces.
So we have all of that going on, and we're currently setting up our Melanade website to not only put me, Jazz, the Ounce, and a couple other businesses on there, so that you have a virtual place to shop with all of these businesses that we have been featuring, along with buying the subscription boxes, which also goes back to the businesses in the boxes. So I'm just saying, you got options.
You got options, hey. You got options indeed, of course. And I just want to personally shout out on behalf of the whole team with myself, Nicole, and SolLikeSoul. For Melanade Stand's support of the podcast, they actually contributed questions, promo, just so much shit in the last little bit of the season. I'm like, that made a world of difference. So our personal support is always gonna be behind Melanade Stand and what y'all do. So yeah,
y'all, we love watching y'all podcast personally. Okay,
what?
Yo,
you can find us everywhere, mofos. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Radio Public. I had to remember the important one. Haha. Everywhere you can search the Nicole and Soul podcast, where you can find us. And as Calypso kindly illustrated earlier, you can find us on IG at the Nicole and Soul podcast, and find us on Twitter at Cole Soul Podcast. And again, as Calypso illustrated, we have several of our IG clips of endless episodes we've had from season 3, season 2. I believe we're still working on season 1, getting all that footage, but all good. Just we've got footage wherever you can look up the Calypso podcast. You can definitely do what Calypso did and binge where one of us mentioned ramen. It might have been me. I'm not gonna lie.
Go binge those videos. There was ramen mentioned. Ramen will be had by me.
God damn it. Well, oh boy. Well, while Calypso searches for the video of ramen, I hope to see all you lovely people as we continue to move into season 4 and continue to surge. But once more, much love to Calypso for being here with me. Much love to Melanade Stand. Shout out to Jazz, the GOAT. Yeah. Get your mask, free shipping. Wait.
Don't pay for shipping, free mask.
Pay for shipping, free mask. There we go. I ain't want to mess it up. It's all good. Don't peace. Follow Jazz. Shout out to our good people in the Ounce. Ray, I'm sorry. I had brand loyalty. I'm sorry. I got my own shirt, but shout out to our good people in the Ounce. They are currently in the middle of moving to a new location. Of course, when everything is safe and everything is a go, once more, we will be live once more from said location. But it is all good from the good people of Melanade Stand. From my beloved team of Nick, SolLikeSoul, myself, NishoSoul. This has been another edition of The Surge. Much love to everybody. Keep supporting us. Keep staying plugged in. We here. We out here. Peace.